You guys all remember how much I loved the Razer phone, right? Because mostly the fan base cannot decide if it is a phone that can do some pretty good gaming or if it is a phone for gamers but not for gaming, or it's a phone for gaming that is good for everyone. No one can really make up their mind about it, but things just got interesting thanks to CES. Now look, I should probably fully disclose that if you're a fan of Razer, or if you like the Razer phone, or if you've heard of this Project Linda thing, you're not going to enjoy yourself for the rest of this video. I don't have nice things to say, so if you're not interested and you're just like, Drew, there's no possible way you can convince me that this was stupid, then just stop listening. Stop wasting your time. Go watch Austin Evans' video about it. Go watch Linus Tech Tips' video about it. There's plenty of other YouTubers saying good things about it. Go watch them. There's content for you. But if you're undecided on it or you think it's dumb, you've come to the right place. For those of you who don't know, Project Linda is this concept that Razer unveiled at CES that you'll be able to drop your Razer smartphone into about where the trackpad would be on a regular Razer laptop. You press this button and voila, this USB-C plug goes into your phone, and then the phone is then being charged by the laptop and the entire OS on the laptop is being run off of that Razer phone. Now they've advertised this so that you can pair an extra mouse to it. Now you can play your games on it. You can use the smartphone's touchscreen as an actual trackpad, and the speakers of the smartphone are now the speakers of the laptop. So basically, if you buy this special laptop casing, I don't believe it will be a laptop on its own, but if you buy this special casing and you buy the Razer phone, you can drop the Razer phone into this casing and then it is powering a laptop. Now, as soon as Razer unveiled this, I got all of these questions from people online. They're like, Drew, what do you think of Project Linda? Drew, you talked about this before. When are you going to talk about Project Linda? You need to talk about that. First of all, why Linda? Like, is that supposed to be reminiscent of Apple's Lisa from back in the day? What is it with Linda? I don't know. Didn't watch the keynote, probably should. Anywho, yes, a while ago, I made a video talking about the idea that Apple patented of being able to drop your iPhone into where about the trackpad would be on your MacBook. And then via your phone, you could actually power a minimized version of macOS. Then the phone would act as the trackpad. But there's a few stark differences here. First of all, the patent made by Apple, or at least the one I saw, never proposed that the speakers of the laptop should be powered by the smartphones. I don't think Apple ever agreed that. I really love the speakers in my MacBook Pro, and trying to stuff those onto a smartphone would just be silly. So the reason I was okay with that concept was, for one, they didn't do that. Second of all, there was no mechanical plugging into a port. The patent didn't call for a lightning port to be slightly out of sight, and then when you drop your phone into the trackpad area, you press a button and then the lightning port physically jams itself into your smartphone. That I don't believe was part of the patent. It was more of a wireless power and data transfer idea, or perhaps using some form of smart connector, but not like gears on the inside of the laptop itself. That's like the Surface Book. I don't think Apple would be interested in that. Third, one of the reasons this patent started popping up, and one of the reasons I got excited about it, was because we were starting to see CPUs within our own smartphones that were exceeding that of our MacBook CPUs. What's been amazing about the last couple of iPhones for the past couple of years is that these Geekbench scores are getting incredibly high. And that started giving us all this idea of, well, with the hardware built into an iPhone or perhaps an iPad, maybe there's enough CPU power to run a very basic form of macOS. Now that we have processors both on Macs and iPhones that are starting to be about the same speed. That's what we were starting to see. With Project Linda, you still got the Snapdragon 835 on the Razer phone, which is good. Powers that 120 Hz display that's not on by default. But the issue I have with this concept is that the Galaxy S9 is about to come out right around the corner, and that's going to have the next generation Android processor, the Snapdragon 845, which means that this Razer phone, which has not been out for very long, just a couple months, is not even going to have the top of the line processor very quickly. It's already about to be dated. Samsung has been doing Samsung DeX, which I understand is not the same thing, but it's a very similar idea that the smartphone can power a computer. What I'm saying is, with Samsung implementing the Snapdragon 845 just around the corner, this Razer phone is already limited by its hardware. And you guys know from the past, I am not a fan of the Razer phone, so if you see me hating on this thing so much, it's because I didn't like the phone in the first place. Even MKBHD admitted it has a very bad camera, a very bad vibration motor, which is definitely something I think is important if your phone is meant to be the trackpad. If you're using your phone's touchscreen as a trackpad, how is it going to click? Especially if the interior motor is just kind of not going to be kind of a seamless transition there. And the worst part, this laptop, or at least the concept of this laptop they're demoing, is not running Windows 10, which, you know, is the most popular operating system for gamers out there. It is running Android. on a keyboard and mouse kind of laptop setup. I don't know if you know about this, but there's not a ton of very high-performing games on there in the first place. That was one of my biggest issues with the Razer phone, is that while it has things gamers care about, like a 120 hertz display and loudspeakers, and is that it? Did it come with headphones? No. $700 phone, didn't come with headphones. But loudspeakers and a 120 hertz display, which basically means my iPad Pro is a gaming device, right? 120 hertz display, very loud speakers. This is a gaming device. That's it, right? Great battery life? Yeah, it's got it too. I guess my iPad Pro is a gaming device. But on top of that, blowing up the Razer phone onto a 13-inch monitor to a keyboard and mouse that has RGB, oh my god, pretty lights. That's what makes a gaming device. I'm not really anticipating that the monitor is also going to be a 120 hertz display. If it is, that's cool, but the Play Store just does not have a ton of high-performing games that I don't think you necessarily need a keyboard and mouse for. Most of the games on the Play Store are designed for you to be steering with an accelerometer or be tapping on a touchscreen display, and the concept they showed didn't have a touchscreen display. But I don't hate on them for that, because I'm sure that the actual release will actually have a touchscreen. But the thing is, this by definition cannot be a 2-in-1. It cannot be a laptop tablet hybrid, and the idea of putting Android onto a laptop experience and just kind of blowing that up is just kind of silly to me, because blowing up Android onto a laptop and having the apps be blown up even though they were designed for a smartphone just seems silly to me. Like, it's kind of weird that, you know, when YouTubers are talking about it, they plug their phone in and drop it in and say, see, now my phone is powering my laptop. And then to demo it, they like open YouTube. Like, wow. A laptop that can play YouTube videos. Impressive! One thing everyone's been saying in the comments about this Project Linda that I actually agree with is that pricing is everything with this upcoming laptop shell. I think it starts to get a little bit awkward the more you think about it. I agree with most of the audiences out there that this thing needs to cost $300, because if it's more than $300 now, just for the Razer phone and this Project Linda device, you're spending over $1,000 on something that is running Android on a laptop. It's not going to be a touch-friendly kind of interface. It may have a touch screen, but you're not going to be holding the laptop like this and touching the display while having the keyboard dangle below you. That's just not how it's going to work. And at that point, there's going to be a billion other options you can buy, even from Razer, between laptops running Windows 10, so you can have Steam, powerful gaming laptops that can have NVIDIA graphics cards in them, not a Snapdragon 835, which was implemented on the Galaxy S8, a year-old phone. Having a year-old phone CPU power the next generation of games for your laptop experience, it just seems kind of silly to me. So the common counter argument I've been seeing on Twitter is that, well, this is not designed for gaming. This is just designed for simple productivity. You want to do some typing, you want to search online. Okay, but I really don't see Razer advertising it that way. Especially in the video they made specifically about this device. They're like, we love making hardware for gamers that are built for playing games. What is this built for playing? Asphalt? Apple TVs can play that at 4K, and that one's 1080p. And another common complaint, because I'm sure there's tons of dislikes and commenters already that didn't listen to my first part of this video, is that, well, Drew, it's a concept, it's a prototype. You shouldn't be so hard on it. It's not officially out yet. This does not have a release date. This does not have a price yet. It's just an idea. Why are you being so tough on them? Listen, I'm being tough on them now because they can still listen. By the time this product comes out and it has a release date and it has a price point, it won't matter if they're listening. The product will be manufactured by then. At CES, the idea is to release products to get people excited, to show you what companies are working on and what they're hoping it'll do down the line. That's why I think it makes more sense now to critique products and to critique ideas of products, because they're looking for feedback. They're showing this off to you guys to see what you think. And I think just because a product is new and just because it's doing something we haven't seen before, that doesn't necessarily make it a good thing. It's important for us to try to be futurists and look at what these companies are releasing and say, well, this part's cool, but this part doesn't work. Like, for instance, I don't like that the Razer phone acts as the speaker of your laptop, because while I'm sure it has very loud speakers, if the screen is acting as your trackpad, your hands are going to be covering up the speakers. If you're gaming on that, or if you're scrolling through things, if you're watching videos, scrolling through comments, your palms are gonna cover up those speakers. That does not seem intuitive to me. Razer is a really, really great gaming hardware company. I do not think they are a software company, and I think the primary primary focus you need when designing a device that can be a smartphone that plugs into a casing of a laptop and makes that laptop functional is you gotta make sure the phone is very high quality and premium and has futuristic features like the Razer phone has Gorilla Glass 3. I don't know why they went with that cheaper route. Does not have wireless charging, does not have the waterproofing, does not have Bluetooth 5.0. It does not have a lot of basic things that are coming out on modern day smartphones already. So if you're talking about implementing it into a design that is not out yet, as in this is not ready, this does not have a release date or a price, that means that if you expect us to use it, it's gonna come out 4 to 5 months from now. And by then, there's gonna be a Galaxy S9, there's gonna be probably a couple more Android phones that are gonna put the Razer phone to shame. I'm sure there's plenty of other smartphone companies working on that 120 hertz display phone, and they'll probably make it look a lot better and have some more modern features built in with an actual decent camera. That's why I think Apple had the right to patent it, and that's why they excited me when they pitched that idea of having your iPhone plug into a MacBook and start powering it, is because for one, iPhones have one of the fastest mobile processors in the business, and two, they have a very functional and capable desktop operating system that I'm using on a daily basis already. The pitch was not to plug an iPhone into a laptop and run a giant form of iOS. That was never the pitch, and it was never for the phone speakers to act as the laptop speakers. And again, really the only way this product can make any sense is if it's under $300. If it's more than that, it's impractical because you might as well just buy a really nice laptop and a really nice phone, not a okay kind of dated phone with a $400 to $500 casing. And knowing Razer's pricing scheme, it doesn't sound like it's going to be that cheap. I really hope it is. And to the potential buyers of it out there, I really do hope you enjoy it. I am not trying to ruin your experience. I'm just looking at it as a standalone product and thinking that I don't think Razer was trying to design something that was actually going to be useful, that was actually going to be a gaming device. I think that the sales for the Razer phone have significantly dropped, and they're just desperately trying to find reasons for you to buy it and not focus on all the things it does not have. So I apologize if I ticked you off. I can't wait to hear all of my feedback in the comments of this video. I do hope that while plenty of you guys may disagree with me, I know you'll always be there, you keep in mind that this discussion is important. It helps companies know what to invest in, and whether you are excited for this product or you think it's stupid like me, I'm very, very happy that we can talk about it because this is an interesting debate to me. I really, really value things that certain companies do not value, and you guys probably value the opposite, which is fine, and I think that we can learn a lot from each other just by hearing it out, and while still respecting each other, which I know sounds very difficult, but to all those people who may hate me right now or disagree with me, I respect your opinion completely, and I'd really love to hear it in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.